Hey everyone, hope you're doing well today so far. So, today's video is going to be a summation and review, and basically just everything that you missed in the new Resistance Reborn book that was sent to me by Del Rey. So, shout out to them. Thank you so much for sending me the audiobook. You guys are going to enjoy this one. So, there's a lot basically going on from here that will fill you in with all the gaps between episode 8 and episode 9, and basically where the Resistance and the First Order and all of them are as we enter the 9th film. So the story picks up 12 hours after the events on Crate in The Last Jedi. Now, I've actually listened to the audiobook twice in the last week, and this is my review. Now, first off, I'm going to warn you guys because there are going to be some spoilers in this for the book, but nothing that will be, ruining your experience or anything like that when you read it. Overall, it's a fun story, and it's a quick read about how the Resistance rebuilds after its utter decimation on Crate. The Resistance scours the galaxy for more people to join them by frantically searching for rebel sympathizers, prisoners of the First Order, and even former members of the Empire, who, according to the book, are mostly not fans of the startup First Order. The Resistance also goes on the search for ships in the decommissioned shipyards of Corellia, which is Han Solo's home planet and famous for making Imperial and now First Order ships. Corellia doesn't do this willingly, but more so they don't get destroyed by the First Order, which Resistance Reborn quickly points out is the situation for most planets. The First Order has adopted a zero-tolerance policy, which basically means that if you're ever gonna speak to the Resistance or disobey the First Order in any way, the First Order straight up takes your planet over. So they're actually becoming even more crazy and dictatorial than the Empire ever was, which is interesting to see. Now, one of the best parts of the book was seeing old faces that we may see in episode 9. So the Resistance enlists the help of former allies like Wedge Antilles and General Riken, who you may remember was the leader of the rebel base on Hoth in The Empire Strikes Back. Now, Wedge has also been confirmed for episode 9, and I really hope we see Riken too. While the book is fun and certainly worth a read, there isn't too much in it that I feel like you won't really know what's going on in episode 9 unless you read or listen to this audiobook. The key point of this book is that the Resistance starts to grow again, and it goes about explaining just how. So I imagine that by episode 9, it will be quite a decent size, as we can see in the trailer. The book mostly follows Poe, Finn, Snap Wexley, and Leia, but Rey is only in a handful of scenes and honestly just kind of stands there. She doesn't have a lightsaber since Anakin's was damaged in episode 8, so when there are fights, she uses a blaster and doesn't use the Force. She spends most of the book being really unconfident and unsure about herself, which I feel was a big departure of where her character ended up on the end of episode 8, so she has no character development in the book, really. This makes me question how she'll start off in episode 9. The one tidbit we do get from her in the book is where Leia tells Rey that she can't train her, even though Leia is probably the closest thing to the Jedi left in the galaxy, and clearly knows a lot about the Force, if she was able to, Superman herself back into the Raddus in episode 8. So that begs the question of who will train Rey in episode 9. Will she be instructed by a Luke Force ghost? An Anakin ghost, maybe? Okay, so that's probably just wishful thinking, so I'm pretty sure it's going to be Leia, but I guess we're going to have to wait and see. So, all in all, I would have liked to have seen more Rey in the book and, character development for her. Now, another tiny part of the book that has huge implications for episode 9 is what's going on with Finn and Rose. So they kissed in episode 8, a lot of people cringed and they wondered if that relationship would stick. It just looked very forced and unnatural. Now, a lot of you who aren't for that relationship, you might be happy to hear that JJ has gone and changed that. So in the book, Poe asks Finn about it, and Finn says that he and Rose talked about it and decided that the kiss was an in-the-moment type of thing and they're just friends. So I don't know about you, but I think JJ basically decided that he didn't want them to end up together, so he's just undoing it. Now, also in the book, it's a little apparent that Poe has some sort of attraction towards Rey, so maybe we'll get a, Hobbit-like love triangle between the three characters in episode 9. No matter what, though, the Finn-Rose romance doesn't look like it'll be a thing in The Rise of Skywalker. So let me know if that disappoints you or if you like it. Now, my last point about the book is a more general observation of current canon books. So unfortunately, Resistance Reborn, along with most other canon books, is good, but it's not good enough to where I'd want to see a movie made from it. That's not because the stories themselves aren't good, because the Resistance Reborn story is entertaining and it's funny and it fills in the gaps, but rather because the stories themselves aren't very consequential to the Star Wars universe as a whole. They're largely just detail fillers. Now, in Legends, the books really added to the overall story and actively developed those characters, while the new canon are like, filler TV episodes with no character development, really. It's just dialogue and kind of taking you from point A to B. Now, of course, there are exceptions to that, like when the galaxy finds out that Leia is Darth Vader's daughter in the book Bloodline, the book Dooku Jedi Lost, which chronicles Dooku's fall to the dark side, and the book Dark Disciple, which tells the final story of Asajj Ventress. I should probably also mention that one of the best parts of Resistance Reborn is seeing into Poe's heart as he grapples with his immense guilt caused by his misactions in The Last Jedi. But overall, I wish the new canon books gave us just a little bit more, something that the films don't give us at all. It's almost like someone comes up with a great idea and then the higher-ups say, oh wait, that idea is too good. We have to save that for a movie. Water it down a little bit. So I mean, I totally understand why Lucasfilm would want to do that in a way, but maybe the books could take a page from the comics, which I feel are doing an absolutely amazing job, maybe even too good of a job, with presenting story and character development. I mean, the entire Vader comics, I want to see those in movies. I feel like it's kind of reversed. We should be seeing those in movies, while then having the movies be movies as well, because I just want all the movies for Vader. So, before I digress further, I want to know, what did you think about Resistance Reborn? If you read it, check it out if you haven't, and let me know what you think about it in the comments below. And another big thanks to Del Rey for sending me an advanced copy of the book. Thank you guys so much. I love the support. I love all of you guys watching. So thank you for joining me today, and I'll see you in the next one. Until then, remember, the Force will be with you, always.
Fulfill your destiny.